Hello, this is Akiko Sudano at stampinginthemeadows.com, and I want to welcome you to my video today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate everybody that watches my videos and takes the time. I appreciate it. So today, it's been a very exciting week because we had the launch of the new catalog. I hope that you've had a chance to take a look at it and seen all the wonderful new products there. We had the launch of the new online store, and I'm still getting used to it, but I'm really enjoying it. I love the larger pictures that they have on it. Hi Karen, thanks so much for joining me. And I I love the new pictures. I'm still having a little bit of trouble with the navigation, but I like the filtering and everything. We're getting there with it. And at the same time, I lost power for several days, and so I wasn't able to spend as much time looking at things online. It was kind of discombobulating. That's the word that I've chosen to describe how I feel. Hi, Chi. Thank you so much for joining me. But our power is back, keeping our fingers crossed and hopefully trying to get back into a rhythm here. And so what I wanted to do today, hi Karen, thank you so much for joining me. What I wanted to do today was present a card that is basically stamping. And we're going back to a set that has been around for a while, but it's instead of going into the new catalog, which seems like it's a little bit, I feel like I should be doing something from the new catalog, but I want to just do some stamping, and so I went back and said, okay, which sets are good for just stamping? And I remembered the Snowfront stamp set. This came out about last year, and it's still available, and it's just wonderful. And the way I look at this is this lets you be a watercolor painter, painting different landscapes and stuff, and it allows you to be creative and just create your own little scene. And I wanted to keep it simple, and so I just have a basic scene here with some mountains and some trees and a lake and then some deer, and then I put it on a label. And I wanted to keep this full size, as opposed to, you could also keep make a little scene and then layer it with some designer series papers, especially with some of the newer designer series papers. They would be really great with a layered kind of look with it. So I don't know if you can see it, but I did the stamping, and then I did a little bit of sponging in with the balmy blue in the sky here, and then in the ground here. And I've got a lot of birthdays coming up, so I'm making this a masculine birthday card. And for the inside, I just replicated the some of the scene in here so that we could do that. So I used this really simple one to make, and I think it comes I'm happy with this. So I hope you like it too. And this stamp set is one that can be you can make it as, I tend to go overboard with things, and so that's one of the reasons that I wanted to keep it simple too. It's one of those things that you can continue adding little details with, and so you just have to say stop. So the first thing I'm doing here, and I'm going to move this the stamp set aside. I'm going to move all of these things aside. And I'm going to stamp the mountains. And this has got, you can see how the mountains are here. And so I stamped one set of mountains here, and then I moved it and stamped it again, so that I would have a larger presence of mountains in this area of the card. But again, like I was saying, this is one of the, you can keep it as simple or as complex as you want to make your scene. And And I just chose to keep it simple today to so that just keep it simple. Just focus on stamping. So you know what, I lost a piece of that, but you know what? Let's go on and see what happens because it is very, very forgiving. And I just want to create, see, I don't know if you can see, but right here, I didn't stamp press evenly or whatnot, and so I missed a big part of the range right here. But I'm going to stamp this on top of it for the second range, and I can and it covers it. I don't know if you can see that very well. I think you can. So one of the things too is that I wanted to make sure that this peak stayed on the on the uh, card so that you could see that in the in the in the little image that I'm creating here, and there you go. It's very, very forgiving, and it's anything goes, and you can make it as simple or as complicated as you want. And I got to figure out what the story is with that, but we'll deal with that later. Okay, so there we have the mountains, like just there. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the tree. I'm going to put the this was gray granite ink that I used, and I'm going to stamp the tree in garden green ink. There we go. And I'm going to put it on the side here, about right here. And then the next thing is to stamp the little deer, because I think the deer in here are so cute. So do I have something under there? No, okay. So I'm going to stamp the deer, and I want them about right here. So you just kind of use different stamps and different colors and slowly build up your scene. And then for some reason I think of mountain lakes, so I have to have a little bit of water in here. So we'll use the big blue blotchy stamp and make that be the water and give us a little bit of a lake right here. Okay. Well, so far everything else seems to be stamping pretty well. Good. So the next thing that the last element that I stamped is this squiggle stamp. And I'm going to do this one in Pear Pizzazz ink, but I'm going to stamp it off so that it's going to be a little bit lighter than the normal. Because I really didn't want, I want that to be just kind of kind of in the background. I think the deer and the tree are the, so that's my Pear Pizzazz, are the main elements, and the mountain. And so we stamped it off once, and then just put it on, and it's, you want to kind of cover some of the green, some of the white space here underneath the lake, and kind of go up to the deer, and I think that ties it together. And so we're done stamping. And then, actually, I'm going to leave the Pear Pizzazz out because that's the first thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to do some sponging, but I'm going to put this, put just a sheet of paper underneath there to protect my work surface. And then I have my little sponge dauber, and just do a little bit of Pear Pizzazz. Most of it you want to have come off. Just do it lightly, and basically basically you want to just because I'm doing this on Whisper White, and I just want to kind of fill in some of the white so that it's not so harsh. And then a little bit in these areas in the mountains too. Because this is called Snowfront, the stamp set, but this is decidedly the summertime. So we can make all season cards with this stamp set, not just snow cards, because you've got the trees, and in the fall you can use falling leaves colors and use this stamp to make like orange and yellow leaves, and then in the springtime you can use that to make pink leaves and white leaves for flowers on the trees that are blooming in the springtime. And just leave them blank for the winter time. And we're using Balmy Blue on the sky, and keep it really light. And don't really need that much at all. I'm just starting to see it, and I'm kind of going. I haven't really masked anything off here. I just kind of fade it away. Let me bring this closer to the camera. Can you see just the faint touch of blue? And maybe I think I was a little bit heavy with the green down here, but it's just very, very faint. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Amy. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm just now getting back to seeing who's here. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Really, really do. So I think that's it for the front of the card. So it's just stamp, 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 and then a little bit of sponging. And then we're going to adhere this to a garden green mat and then to a cinnamon cider card base. So let's there we go. Yes, Karen, I think this is a great stamp set. I really liked this when it first came out, and the waterfront stamp set, which is similar. And it just makes it so easy, easy to make something that looks really artistic. Okay. There we go. Now, and then the next thing we're going to do is I'm just going to tie take some linen thread and wrap it around a couple of times towards the bottom. And just make a little knot on the side here. I think I need to go a little further to the side. There we go. There. And then I trim these off just so that it's a little bit, just a little bit of something. There we go. And then we can stick our dimensionals on the back and put it on the front of the cinnamon cider card base. Okay. There. All right, so on my sample, I used I used garden green ink, but I think that that's a little bit light, so I'm going to use the cinnamon cider ink instead for my greeting, and so we'll see how that works. And again, this is the happy birthday sentiment from the Palette Thoughts stamp set, and it's just a strong, a good, strong, solid sentiment for a masculine birthday card. So I like it. It's just simple, traditional, and it's good. Make sure I'm covered good from an ink perspective. Stamp it on there, and that looks good. I think this is going to lighten up, but I think it has a better contrast with the green than the garden green ink has. And then I will cut it out with the this little die from the Tasteful Labels die. So I'll take this over to my die cutting machine, and yes, it is. It's great for making masculine cards. So my husband's birthday is this week, and so I am busy scrambling, figuring out, okay, what kind of birthday card am I going to make for him? So I have a couple of ideas, and I'm definitely into masculine cards right now. There we go. So let's see here. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I cut out these little strips of dimensionals. I cut I can show you. This is the edge of one of the strips, and I just cut a strip off the edge there, and you can see how it's just a little bit short. I did get the new die cutting machine, but I didn't use it yet, and I haven't started it yet. I opened it up, and I really love it because because the way it folds up, but I haven't started using it yet, but I'm excited to. So, who else has gotten the new die cutting machine? What do you think about that? So I'm trying to just put my dimensionals on here and make a channel for the linen thread. So I kind of cut little strips and put them on the outside edges of the label here. I'll pull the covers off. And we'll put it on and we'll figure out how high we need to make this, and so that's why I didn't adhere anything on the back of the label yet, and that's good. Yeah, I'm liking the darker contrast, and that doesn't seem to be lightening up too much as time goes on. We'll see if it lightens up some more. So that's, oh no, one more thing. So on the sample card, I used one of the dots, but I think that for this card, I'm going to use one of the metallic pearls, and I think maybe I'll use the silver one, the silver metallic pearl, just on the edge here. And when I cut this out, also I left myself a little bit more space to put the gem than I did initially. Yeah, just a little something, just a little something. All right. So on the inside of the card, let's go ahead and stamp the inside, and we're almost done here. We're going to put a tree, and then 2 deer, and then just a little bit of the ground. So let's start with the tree. Here we go. And garden green ink. Here it is. And half the tree can go off the edge. That makes it nice. Yep. I love them too. I don't have any daughters. I have a husband and 2 sons. And so it's there's a lot of masculine cards and that I need to be making. So, and then put the deer right here. But I have sisters, so I get to make the frilly, flowery birthday cards for my sisters, and they really enjoy that because I love those too. Okay, the next one is the little pear pizzazz for the ground. These deer are so cute. Stamp it up, stamp it off, and position it just so that we get a little bit of green trailing on the bottom of the card, hopefully. A little bit. There we go. That's good enough. And put this aside, and then put this on a garden green mat. No, let's put the Stampin' Seal on the back of the smaller piece of paper. And then adhere it. And now we're ready to put this on the inside of the card. That's the inside of our card, and that's the outside of our card. And that's our finished card for today. And I hope you like it. And what I wanted to do was basically do a lot of stamping today, and so that was my objective. And bringing out the beautiful snowfront stamp set, making to make a summertime card, I think is fun. So everybody stay safe and have a great week. And thank you again so much for joining me. And take care. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.